And whenever you guys are ready.
Okay, so hi, my name is Jack Jones.
My name is Kevin Tuig.
My name is Neil Patel.
My name is Ryan Sharma.
And we are at Breast Saver, where we plan to put convenience in the palm of your hands, literally. So Breast Saver is a beverage sleeve provider for local coffee shops as well as a savior for everyday coffee drinkers. Breast Saver provides a freshly packaged mint on every sleeve in order to eliminate bad smelling coffee breath following a cup of coffee. Now this is appealing to a lot of coffee drinkers. For this example, we decided to use Hogs. Hogs has a huge job every morning. He's up all night thinking what to say and ways to impress his potentially future boss. Now Hogs woke up the next morning a complete wreck with only 3 hours of sleep and running late. He was craving a cup of coffee. So he decided to stop at his local coffee shop on the way. He arrived to the interview with a lot of energy, confidence, but also bad breath. Upon greeting the interviewer, he realized that the interviewer was keeping his distance and kept backing away. Now this continued throughout the whole interview, leaving Hogs confused. It wasn't until the end of the meeting where Hogs realized that his bad breath had set a bad impression. Hogs wished there had been a solution. But there is. So Hogs was left stranded without mint or gum in sight. If the local coffee shop had used Breast Saver coffee sleeves, Hogs would have been able to eliminate that bad breath prior to the interview and hopefully change the outcome.
So here's a demo of what we plan our product to look like. So it's actually just a Zyrtec, but so it won't taste very good. So you
Okay.
can
Oh, don't take it.
I didn't take my antihistamine this morning. Yes, feel free to.
It's a Zyrtec with the
Yeah.
coffee.
Oh, because it's a pill thing, that's all.
Yeah.
Right. It's a pill thing.
Okay, so for our UVP, we decided to split into 2 different categories. The coffee drinkers would be the actual users of the mint, and the coffee shops would be the actual customer of the sleeves. So, on the coffee drinker side, Breast Saver sleeves are extremely convenient. It's as easy as taking off the sleeve, popping out the mint, and eliminating bad coffee breath. And after the breath is eliminated, it immediately improves the customer's appearance. And all this is very inexpensive. The customer can be paying as low as a 5 cents difference for a cup of coffee.
And from the coffee shop's point of view, our sleeves can increase the customer satisfaction because the customers are more satisfied because they'll have the mint and then basically what he said. And then our sleeves are also competitive with other sleeve providers. They're around 6 to 9 cents higher to manufacture. And then they're also made with high quality corrugated cardboard as well as fresh mints.
So for our target market, we plan to go after local coffee shops rather than large franchises. This is due to the fact that these large franchises often produce their own coffee sleeves, whereas local smaller coffee shops rely on beverage sleeve providers to supply their store.
So for our total market, we first took the total amount of coffee shops in the US. So this includes all franchises like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. So we found that from Statista.com, so that is the value of 30,000. And we multiplied this by the average amount of coffee sleeves each shop uses in a year, which is 36,000. And we found that from interviewing our own coffee shops. And then we multiplied that by the unit price of 17 cents, which we'll get into later, for a total addressable market of 183 million. And now we're only going to be focusing on selling to local coffee shops because most franchises make their own sleeves. So we took away all the franchise coffee shops and we're left with 11,500 local coffee shops, multiplied that by the same average amount of sleeves of 36,000, and then by our unit price of 17 cents per sleeve for a total of $70 million to be made selling to local coffee shops. So in our first year, we want to sell to 15 coffee shops, and so that would be 15 local coffee shops out of the 11,500 I mentioned before, and this would give us a market share of 0.13%.
So for our competitors, we decided to split it into 2 different categories. One being alternative sleeve providers for our customers, and the other being mint and gum providing companies for our users. Sleeve a Message and Hot Cup Coffee are the 2 main sleeve providers for local and small coffee shops. They are our indirect competitors, and the only difference between us and them is that we have a mint attached to the sleeve, whereas they are just a piece of cardboard on a coffee cup. For our users, we discovered that they often use products such as mint and gum to remove bad coffee breath. But we also found out that about 87% of the users, when they are in coffee shops, they do not carry these things with them. So the 2 main customer relationships for us are going to be through Twitter and Instagram. In Twitter and Instagram, we will be posting regularly about different information and the latest updates in our company. We also sent out an email blast to 200 local coffee shops around America. Out of them, only one responded, but that is if they are far away. If they are close and local to us, we plan on meeting with them in person. So for our 2 channels, the first one is going to be an online store, which we will release once we get the money for it. And the second one will be, we will be meeting with shops face to face and selling our sleeve directly to them.
So now I'm going to run through how much it'll actually cost to make 1 unit or 1 sleeve. So from, what was the name of the company?
Craft.
So Craft produces their own coffee sleeves, so with a printed logo on the front. So this would cost us 8 cents for the cardboard sleeve. And then from thomasnet.com, we averaged that like a Altoid size mint we could get for 2 cents each. And then the cost of packaging would also be 2 cents. But our only problem is that they don't actually make the packaging that we want, so we'd have to contact a manufacturing company to make the specific packaging that we need. So this is the theory of how much our sleeves would cost for a total of 12 cents.
So as Kevin said before, the cost to make 1 sleeve will be 12 cents. And in order to maximize our profit, we decided to sell the sleeves for 17 cents. We came up with this number during our interviews when we talked to our potential users and local coffee shops. This was both in the price range of the users and the customers. And with cost plus strategy pricing, we would end up having a 29.4% profit every time we sold 1 sleeve.
So now for our gross profit. As I said earlier, we plan to sell to 15 coffee shops in our first year. So that would be, in our first year, that would basically be 1 coffee shop every month, plus an additional 3 other coffee shops sometime within that year. And that would equal $13,900 in our first year of gross profit.
Alright, so we'll be running 2 different types of MVP tests. One for our customer being the coffee shops, and the second one being for the users, for the people that actually drink the coffee and experience the bad breath. We hope to prove that both our customers and our users are interested in our product by conducting these MVP tests. Alright, so myself and Kevin are currently sending out 200 email blasts to coffee shops around the United States, most of them being smaller in size so we can get a response quicker. So let's say a coffee shop in Wyoming is interested in our product. They would click our email. In our email, we have a link to our landing page. Once they click on our landing page, they can go to the bottom of our landing page, which has a video, a company video, which can give them a more descriptive view of our company. But let's say they want to talk to one of us, or they want to even purchase Breath Saver. They would click on the right sign up now. Alright, so once they click on the sign up now, they'll be led to a survey in which they have to answer some questions about their company and themselves. So they have to answer what the name of their company is, what the company email is, and what the company phone number is. Our collectible forms of currencies will be the emails and the phone numbers for our MVP tests. Our second MVP test will deal with the users. So we plan on, for our MVP for the users, we don't need to put the actual mint on the sleeve. We just need to prove the fact that users want to eliminate the bad coffee breath. So we plan on putting mints at the register of different coffee shops. And after each purchase of a coffee or hot beverage, the register person will say, would you like a mint to eliminate bad breath? So Pepper Park Coffee and Sears Coffee at my dad's business have already agreed for us to put mints on the register. Every 3 days we'll be checking in and comparing the amount of mints that we put out compared to how many mints were gone to solidify that our users are interested in eliminating bad breath.
So in order to run these 2 MVPs, we're going to need 2 things. A domain that will make it easier for businesses to access our landing page, and 10 packages of Lifesaver mints in order to run the test at Pepper Park and Sears Coffee. So for the year, for a domain for a year, it will cost around $21. And for 10 packages of mints priced at $8.72 per package, would bring our total asking price to $110. And we hope that with the help of you guys, we can get enough information to move our business forward. Thank you once again. We are Breath Saver, where we plan to put convenience in the palm of your hands, literally.
Really well done having the prototype or
Yeah.
demo of it.
Goes a long way.
You actually contacted a sleeve manufacturer
Yeah.
The numbers you have on the sleeves are
Yeah.
good. This is a blister pack, and that's gonna be, you know, you can get somebody to do it quite easily, but you're gonna have to figure out how to get this fill out of the package.
I think actually that it's kind of along the lines, if you go back to your cost for goods, because that's the starting point, it's all gonna cascade down to, can you get stores to buy this? I think you're underestimating the cost, because you
Yeah.
don't have any cost calculated in this to put the mint on the sleeve.
Yeah,
So you've got the sleeve and you've got the mint and the packaging for the mint, but now those two shall be combined. And so it won't just be 12 cents, it'll probably be somewhere upwards of that. So know that, and then that factors into what are stores currently spending on sleeves right now?
so like around 12 cents per sleeve.
Okay, so you need to be able, through all of this is, how are you going to prove out to a store that now it's not 17 cents versus 12, it's going to be in upwards of that, so let's say it goes up to even 20. So now you've got 8 cents more times 36,000. Carlos can maybe do the math, I can't. That the store be required to spend on that. And it wasn't clear if they're passing through that cost when the customer is buying coffee, or if you think that you can prove out that it's worth them spending the extra money because they're going to increase their sales by so much. Like, walk me through a little bit of like how you might get at some of those answers and knowing that that's an issue.
Well, so we were conducting interviews at the beginning, so solution interviews, where we asked customers on what they would pay at the register in order to get a mint every time.
Right.
And these numbers would range anywhere from 15 to 20 cents was the normal price range that we averaged it out at. So we do believe that if the coffee shops were okay with passing the price through to the customers rather than let the coffee shop to buy the more expensive sleeves, that they'd be along with it.
What are the odds you can get? One solution that I didn't hear you guys explore is maybe just actually adhering the mint to the sleeve after the fact. So instead of like giving the mint in the MVP, you actually have a way of sticking it onto the sleeve, because that seems to be part of it. That might also solve a problem that I don't think part of what makes sleeves so convenient is that you can have thousands of them and they take up no space, so shipping them and all that stuff is not, once you start putting these things on, there's just more, it's hard to efficiently, like, next time you go to Starbucks, look at the container where the sleeves are, and it's just jam-packed. So, I don't know, I mean, maybe you can do something in your MVP around not just giving the mint away, but having a way of adhering it to the sleeve at the register. Might simulate the same experience.
In terms of getting some feedback from coffee shops, or maybe casting a wider net, I mean, it wouldn't cost you that much more to maybe do 100 of these and mail them out to some very selected group of independent coffee shops with a survey or a link to a survey. We're selling these. If you like it, hit this. Go to this website or fill out a survey and mail it back, or do something like that, right? And then it's a first-class envelope that's coming to the coffee shop. They're going to open it and look at it, and nobody's going to not pull that thing out and go and not be intrigued. I mean, it's very intriguing.
It is, and I think we're looking at maybe there's, I think, more detailed ways to test this. It may require some more physical labor on your part.
But for another $50 or $100 in postage, and you get some real value.
And you're saying send them out. I mean, you've got the stores here that are willing to do this, so just pick the Saturday that you're going to go to Cook Street Coffee and say, how many sleeves will you go through today? And they're going to tell you, and then you're going to say, can we have 100 of those sleeves? You're going to put mints on them, and then the next Saturday you're going to go back and say, all right, here are the minted sleeves for them to use on a whole day.
Yeah,
And
instead of using your money on buying a package of mints, I'm sure you can find blister packed mints
Mints. Oh, yeah.
somewhere on the marketplace, and you're gonna have to cut them up, and the only challenge you have is getting, you know, you're gonna have it so that it fits somewhere in here, and then you can just push it through on the other side, you know, which you can't do now. But you'll be able to get a package mint that's blister packed, and that'd be perfect for you know, doing an experiment like she's citing right here.
I think that's gonna give the evidence to the board when we're evaluating you of like, did this work or not, and what did you test? Because otherwise, coming back, like, you know, the alternative is you're gonna say, oh, these 2 coffee shops gave away this many mints. Is that really a strong replication of a customer's interest in actually maybe even paying premium for the minted sleeve?
Well, the customers are gonna give you feedback right on the spot. You know,
They will.
You hand somebody a cup of coffee that has this, they're gonna say something, you know, you're gonna be able to go to you're gonna be able to go to cook coffee at the end of the day, and you say, what was everybody's reaction? They're gonna say, wow, everybody loved it, or, you know, nobody even noticed it. I suspect they'll say everybody loved it, and people probably come up afterwards and say, that was a great mint, you know. You get feedback.
How, can you guys?
Yeah, that is so much. The cool thing will be, did you actually go to the sleeve manufacturer? Where are they located?
So we did not.
We just looked online and said that the price was 8 cents for.
It'd be interesting to go to the manufacturer and see how viable it would be to, I mean, you may be surprised that, you know, packaging and machines that put together sleeves like that are pretty, you know, pretty adaptable, and you know, you could work in a system where a blister pack could be fed right into a sleeve, but you'd have to talk to the people that make the sleeve.
You max set 100 sleeves a day per coffee shop?
What was that?
Your max set 100 sleeves a day per coffee shop when you're doing your TAM?
Yeah.
I think my family uses 5.
Yeah.
It's gotta be light.
It wasn't 100 sleeves, it was a lot more than 100.
Okay.
Whatever it
Yeah.
was.
So, okay.
Where did you come up with the 11,500 in terms of, you know, serviceable market?
So do you know the website Statista?
No?
So we've been using that website this year. It's I don't know how to explain it, but they pretty much give you information on like the type of market that it is.
Not franchise.
Yeah. So it gave us franchises versus not franchises on that.
You know, down the road, you need to think about patentability, because, you know, somebody like Starbucks thinks that's a good idea, you're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah.
I'll just go back to, think of also ways you can show that this would be, as a small coffee shop, what can you, like, it sounds nice, but it will increase their operational complexity, it will cost them more money. So what information can you gather in this test that would show a small coffee shop, this would be worth it for you?
Okay, what's
Right.
in it for them?
What's in it for them? Like, if you're gonna say, again, I keep going back to the simple math of 36,000 sleeves times 5 cents extra that they're spending a year on your fancier breath-saving sleeve, well, can you prove out that it will increase their sales somehow or differentiate them? You know, but evidence-based with quantitative numbers of how it will benefit them is gonna be more encouraging.
And I think a good question too, big picture, is would they go to the trouble of procuring these and storing these if the cost was the same? Because it, like maybe an Angles, and again, this is down the road, is maybe there's like a Altoids could
30 seconds.
sponsor that or something like that, like they could have you could have advertising or something on the sleeve themselves.
Go back to your total ask of dollars so we can decide how much money to award you guys. Okay.
You go another way.
Go the wrong way. It's 110 they asked for.
Okay, and so the 110 is based on,
Websites.
$20 domain. And
okay,
mints.
so fine. The domain, what is the domain for though? I mean, I guess what is the website for? What are you gonna get
So
on the website?
that's our landing page where we are going to be sending email blasts out. so that with the website in it, so that once we send the email that they.
This is for you testing
The
coffee shops if they're
Yeah.
interested. Got it, okay, done.
Yeah, 'cause-
Agreed. Okay, it's a good piece of data to have, go back. Then, I think you need more money and time to build in to do a more realistic test.
Okay.
So I don't know how much money we want to award for that or say. It's gonna be, it's like another $100 at least, I would say, just for you to procure sleeves, procure mints, and to jerry-rig this somehow.
Stick them on there some way.
You don't get paid for it unfortunately, but your blood, sweat, and tears goes towards it.
Yeah.
Go to any candy store, you'll find packaged mints, I guarantee you, in the exact format, okay? Or you
Yeah.
just leave it as Zyrtec and,
Oh my gosh.
It's like this style where you can just like tear it
Yeah,
off.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, so let's put another $100 on that. I mean, that's what I would say, and then, but talk to Hobbs if it's more or less, and
You know what?
we'll figure that out.
It's funny that you're here. Go buy me some mints, go buy the mints that you want, and come to me and I'll put it in a blister pack for you. I've got machinery that does it.
All right.
I do, yeah, I'll get it in 20 minutes.
All right.
Sounds like a plan then.
So you gotta
Putting
get
out
the
my
right
notes,
size
Boston Bryan
one,
case.
exactly,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and amount, and there you go. And you guys gotta source your sleeves then, all right,
210.
210?
Yeah.
yeah, 210.
Fantastic.
Thanks,
Good
guys.
job, guys.
Yep. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I
Well
I
done.
have 6 children, I'm trying not to shake hands. I don't wanna get all Remington High School sick, he's already been out for this.
Yeah,